Hi, and thanks for joining me again on the Sealed for Good episode. Today I'm actually going to talk about a scenario which you're going to see some photos come up while I'm talking now that has come to my attention, and it's one that I thought that I wanted to share with you because I know we've got a lot of applicators, we've got builders, we have even our competitor brands that are watching these blogs, and I'm not pushing the Gripset barrow here. This is about the industry side. So as you'll see now, a situation came up recently where a waterproofer, a client of ours in Melbourne, sent some photos through of a job they had done, and they had followed the specification perfectly. Wet area for a builder, had applied a class 3 wet area membrane, had done all the right priming, surface preparation, the priming, the bond breaker, correct coats, walked out of that project thinking they had done the job perfectly. A couple of days later, the builder contacted him and sent these photos through as you're seeing now. And you see that first photo where there's a painter that's gone in after the waterproofer, decided to spray paint the ceilings, spray paint the walls around the membrane, and you'll see that there's just some roller marks of the roller with some white paint on the wall membrane in the shower alcove. You see this next photo where there's now the floor, and that floor I thought was actually the dust from the flushers coming in and sanding the gyprock in the ceilings. But the case was that is not, that is overspray from the paint all over the membrane. So this brings up in this situation where, and I've been on this program before, and I've spoken about situations where we have cowboy applicators, we have products that aren't up to specification or compliant, we have standards that are not in place, but this is totally isolated to that. This is a situation where everything's been done correctly. The wet area has been prepared properly, the correct system, compliance system's been done, the correct amount of coats are on there, and yet we have a situation where other trades come in and they just don't really give a shit about the work that's been done, and they've gone ahead and just painted over someone's work. But the killer in this whole situation was the builder rang the waterproofer a couple of days later, and instead of actually taking the side of the waterproofer, asked the waterproofer what warranty he was going to give and what he would recommend as a tile adhesive over that membrane. And that actually just sums up the disconnect in our industry at the moment, where builders at that level are still not understanding the way waterproofing works and how isolated it needs to be. And I've written a blog about this, and you'll be able to see that. There's a link on this post about it. And I would like you to read it. It's a very short one about this story alone. But until we start to treat waterproofing almost like the way we give attention to electrical wires in a building site, this is never going to get right, because some tiler potentially has gone there now and either tiled it and that warranty becomes void, or someone's got to work out how they're going to get the waterproofing or the paint off the waterproofing, or waterproofing over that paint. But the situation is, how does a trade like a painter come in, must know it's a waterproof membrane because it's sprayed virtually around the shower walls, hit the ceiling, hit the walls where the membrane is not. There's banana peel left on the floor, so again, the couldn't give a shit factor is there again, alive and well. And yet we're going to find a situation now where potentially there's going to be a problem down the track, and this is going to bring in the waterproofer, the manufacturer, the builder, and who knows, would the paint actually be exposed in this situation? Now, this is one example. I know many of you are probably laughing at the moment looking at these photos going, you've seen a lot of this and have stories about it, and that is exactly what I want you guys to do now. I don't care whether you're a competitor of ours, a contractor that uses Gripset or doesn't use Gripset, a designer, a reseller, a builder. We need to get this story out there and cases like this exposed if we're going to really and truly make a movement in the industry, because this is where it all falls down. This is a classic example where things are done properly and done right, and yet all that work comes undone because of just one stupid case of whatever's happening afterwards. And if we don't get it right, this is just going to continue to happen, and it's happening daily out there. This is one case. This is a builder, a well-known builder in Melbourne that I'm not going to mention, and yet the supervisor has rang the waterproof and asked those sorts of questions, which means that it doesn't matter what awareness, this is not time for awareness now of waterproof membranes and what they do. This is about understanding how the trade must be utilised and scheduled, because you've got trades prior and after waterproofing, and it's a unique situation waterproofing. It actually holds, it's like the meat in the sandwich. You've got everything else that goes on after it and before it, that the integrity of it is relying on the waterproof membrane, and yet it can come unstuck. So if you've got photos or stories that might be of something similar or worse, I'm sure you've got them out there, please go to our Facebook post on this and add them in there and share it. And let's get this out there, because we want to use this. I want to get this out to the NBA, I want to get to the HIA, the AIW, and get this movement happening so people understand where things need to happen here, because we can go on and get modifications done to AS 4858, all the other standards out there, 4654, trying to improve the integrity of membranes. It ain't going to help if we don't understand how we're going to fix this piece of the pie, which is a major part of the equation with waterproofing and construction. So I do ask that, I'm sure there'll be a bit of humour involved, because you'll show us some stories that make this look like it's probably perfect. But please share them along, get them out there, let's get a conversation, discussion happening. We'd love to hear back from you, and let's see where it goes from there. But I'm hell-bent on making sure that this is one example that we're going to push to authorities and try and get this movement happening and get it right, because until we do that, we're all pushing shit uphill at the moment, and that is not what we're all there for. We're trying to improve the industry, and we're not going to improve it unless we all collectively together remove situations like this. For a different episode of Sealed for Good, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to hearing your responses.